If you're stressed right now, girl, same. And if you're stressed because of college, then I really feel you. If you don't know me, hello, I am Rachel, and I'm currently a senior in college. I'm actually in my very last semester right now. We're about halfway through, and I'm feeling it. I'm a film production major, and the past couple weeks have just been really stressful with all the work piling up. I'm currently in my senior film class where we have to make like a 10 to 12-minute short film for our final project. And, just the way things worked out, I'm actually making two. I'm helping out with two of them. That's a long story. And I'm also in a cinematography class on top of that, where we also have a final short film project. And let's just say it's getting busy, it's getting overwhelming, and I am stressed. So I'm partially making this video to be helpful to anyone watching, to kind of share my stress management process and techniques so that if anyone who's watching is stressed, they can maybe try some of these things out and hopefully it'll help them feel better. But I'm also making this video for myself because I need to put some of these techniques into play because I have not been doing them and I can feel my stress is piling up. You know, when you can just like feel that a break is coming, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like everything has been piling up over the past couple weeks and it's been stressing me out, but I've just been kind of like brushing it off. Like, it's okay, we'll figure it out, it'll be fine. And you can do that, but eventually you're probably gonna crack. And I feel like I can feel that breaking point coming. I feel like I'm headed right towards it. So I want to do my best to prevent it or to manage my stress ahead of time, be proactive so that I don't break. So, step one, get comfy, get cozy. The last thing you want to be is uncomfortable. Don't worry about putting together a super cute outfit for the day. You're stressed, you're trying to relax, you're trying to calm yourself down. Put on something cozy that makes you feel good, that makes you feel comfy. And along with that, maybe make a nice cup of coffee, a delicious latte, brew up some hot tea, whatever your cup of tea is to make you feel cozy and comfortable, do that. Next, get off and stay off your phone. Now, I say this for several reasons. One, if one of the things stressing you out is like related to school, like for me, I am in several groups for my films. So I'm in several different group chats that are always being texted in on my phone. And sometimes when I'm really overwhelmed, the last thing I want to do is read these messages and just stress out more. So if you're in a similar boat, those messages will be there for you in a few hours. You don't need to handle them right this second, especially if you don't feel like you can without it really like hurting you mentally. Don't. Another reason I say this is because of social media. Now, scrolling through social media will offer a short term, temporary distraction or escape from the stress that you're feeling. But as soon as you get off, as soon as you run out of stuff to look at or you're bored of it, you're not going to feel any better. In fact, you're probably going to feel worse. This will especially be the case if some of the things you're stressing about are apparent on social media. So, if social media enables you to compare yourself to other people about things that you're stressed about, you're only going to feel worse when you get off. For example, if you have a small business or you're trying to grow an Instagram page for something, or you're working on your YouTube channel, if you're stressed about these things and then you're scrolling through Instagram and watching YouTube videos of people being successful in these things, you're just going to compare yourself to them and it's just going to make you more stressed. Another example that relates more to the stuff I was talking about earlier with my film assignments and how I'm a senior in college and I'm hella stressed because of that. If you're following people from your classes on social media and they're posting about all these great films they're making and all this stuff they're doing, and you're like comparing yourself to that, like, how do they have the time to do that? I'm stressed about the stuff I have on my plate already. How are they so successful? You're going to feel worse. All right, so now that you're off your phone, you need to journal about it. Or even if you don't have a journal, grab a scrap piece of paper and just write it out. I encourage you to write about how you're feeling, what's stressing you out, how you're doing mentally. And if that feels like too much, you could even just make a bulleted list of everything that's stressing you out. I do this sometimes when I'm feeling stressed because it helps you just like get it all out of your head. Because sometimes one of the things that's making you feel so overwhelmed is like having so many different things you're stressing about that you feel like you can't keep track of all of them. So just like writing a bulleted list down on paper in front of you, like that you can visualize and see, that really helps you feel like you kind of have like a grasp on everything that's stressing you out, and you can kind of just like feel like you have more control over it. And similarly, if one of the things that's stressing you out is just like, I have so much to do, write a to do list, like just a giant master to do list. It doesn't even need to be organized in terms of like, I need to do this for school and this for work and this for my personal life. Like, just write one giant, messy, jumbled to do list of everything you need to do. It might even help to put like when you need to do things by so you can kind of start to look at it and like prioritize what you need to do and by when so you can figure out where to start. Okay, so I just finished my stress list and my to-do list. I honestly feel like my to-do list is missing some stuff. I was like struggling to think of things, but this might also be a sign that I don't have as much to do as I thought I did. So let's hope that's the case. I just figured I would share some of my bullet points on my lists. Just, for transparency to share what I'm going through because everyone's going through stuff. The one at the very top of my list, not that this list is in any particular order, but this being at the top does make sense that it was the first thing to come to mind, and that is my films for my dramatic production class, which is the senior class I mentioned earlier. I also have social life and time for AJ. I just feel like a lot of the time when I'm getting stressed about all the stuff I have to do, part of that stress is because I don't want to sacrifice like my social life. Not that I have that much of a social life, but I have friends that I want to hang out with sometimes, and I don't want to have to take time away from them, or especially time away from AJ, to accomplish these things on my list. I'm also stressing about my Right Brain Rach, my little small business that I'm trying to build. Also, as I mentioned, this is my last semester in college, so I'm graduating in December, which means I have to start job hunting, and that's scary. On my to-do list, I have clean the apartment, do laundry. I have a couple assignments listed that I don't need to do right this second, but they're just stuff that will be on my radar this week. And yeah. Now, this next step might come as a surprise. You might be like, what was the point of all that? But put it away. I think writing it all out is helpful because, like I said, it allows you to take everything that's jumbled in your brain that's stressing you out and put it all on a piece of paper. So it's like you're not going to forget about any of it. You have it all in front of you. So you feel less overwhelmed about like keeping it all straight in your head. But dwelling on these things will only make you feel worse. Now, obviously, there's only so much you can do if you're in a time crunch. So I think you need to assess your list of stresses and your to do lists. And if there's stuff on there that's urgent that like you have to do right now or you have to do today, obviously, like this step is going to have to like kind of bend with that. You got to be flexible. So if there are things that are urgent that you have to do right now, do those things, obviously. But once you reach a point where like the stuff on the list isn't urgent, it's just stuff that's coming up that's just stressing you out now because you're thinking about it, then you can reach a point where you can put it away. Now, this is really hard to do, but it's probably the most important part of this entire video. This is definitely my weakness when it comes to managing my stress. I'm definitely like a go, go, go type person. So when I have a to do list of stuff and I'm like checking it off, I'm feeling great. Even if it's like stressful to look at it, the more I check off, the better I feel. So if I've been working for 6 hours straight, but there's still stuff left on my to do list and I technically still have time in the day to keep working on them, I will. And it's because when I look at this to do list, I just like have this mentality of like, I need to finish all this stuff as soon as possible because the sooner it's done, the sooner I'll feel better, right? So, like, let's just get it all done, even if it means a 12-hour grind day where I feel like. So I think that's something that I definitely need to work on because I don't think that's a good, healthy mentality to have. I think it's just important to reach a balance and know how to handle these to do lists. So once you've checked off several things and you've handled the most pressing things on your list, if everything else is like pretty flexible, you don't need to do it like in the next 24 hours. I think that's a great time to stop and be like, wow, I'm proud of what I've accomplished. Now it's time to take a break. Now, if you're like me and you're like, okay, yes, technically I don't have anything urgent on this list that needs to be done right now, but there's a couple small things that I know I could check off in 30 minutes and that would just make me feel better because it's one less thing on the list, you can do those. So, for example, one thing I'm probably about to do right now is write a log line for one of the films I'm working on and choose which parts of the script I want actors to read in the auditions this week. That should take me maybe 10 minutes because the script is already written, so I just need to adapt a log line from the current script, and then I just need to pick which scene or scenes from the script I want to use. That shouldn't take me very long, and then that's one less thing that is on my list and that's hanging over my head. But a more generic thing that I suggest is cleaning. Now, I know this isn't everyone's cup of tea, but I really do feel like cleaning helps. It might be hard to get started, but once you're going, I feel like you just want to keep going. First of all, it can be very therapeutic to clean because it's just like, it's almost like a good kind of tedious. Like you're just like cleaning the apartment and, there's not much to it. It gives you a chance to just like take your mind off of things, but you're not doing anything super like strenuous or like that would stress you out on its own. And second of all, I really feel like your space really impacts your mental. So if you're in a messy, cluttered space, it's gonna make you feel stressed because it's just like not a good environment to be in. And if you have all this stuff going on in your head and then all this stuff going on in your space, it's just gonna clash and you're just gonna be more stressed. At least that's how I work. But if my space is really tidy and clean, it like immediately improves my mood and makes me feel better, and it almost makes me feel more productive because I have such a nice space to work in. Plus, you're in full control when you're cleaning. If you feel like there are things that are stressing you out that you just like don't have control over and that's why they're stressing you out, you have full control over the cleanliness of your apartment. So if you have dishes in the sink or if you haven't dusted in a while or you got crumbs on the floor, like just take care of it and you'll feel so much better. And now it's finally time to reward yourself. Do something that you love and that you enjoy and that has nothing to do with your stress. When life starts to get overwhelming and stuff starts to pile up on your plate, the first thing you're probably going to stop prioritizing is yourself. So it's really important to not do that. You need to prioritize yourself and spend some time doing something that you love, especially like something that you haven't been able to do because you've been so stressed and busy and overwhelmed. It'll just like help you almost reconnect with yourself and like forget about the stresses for a little bit. It'll give you a distraction and just like take your mind off of things and put you right back in your comfort zone. For me, I think there are a couple of things I can think of that I could do right now that I love and enjoy and haven't been able to do recently. For one, digital art. I really do enjoy doing digital art on my iPad, but this is somewhat related to some of my stresses because I post my digital art on my Right Brain Rach Instagram, and I've just been a little bit stressed and overwhelmed with the state of that right now. So even though I do like digital art, it probably won't be the best thing for me to choose right now because I'll be stressing about like posting it on my Instagram because I haven't posted in a little over a week, and like making sure I'm making something that my followers are going to like. And I don't want to be thinking about that right now. I want to be completely stress free and completely detached from everything that's been stressing me out. So I think what I'm going to do is crochet. I have not crocheted in at least 6 months, probably longer. And I love crocheting. It's very relaxing and it's also very therapeutic. For example, I crocheted this cactus pillow and it's so cute. But crocheting is just a hobby. It doesn't make me money. It doesn't get my schoolwork done. It doesn't clean the house. So I definitely let it go and I don't prioritize it when I start to get busy and overwhelmed. So I think today, as my thing that I love to do, that I haven't been able to recently because I've been stressed, is crochet. So I hope if you are someone who came to this video because you were feeling stressed, I hope you're feeling a little bit better now after finishing this video. I would love to hear if you followed any of these tips, and like what specifically you did. For example, what did you write on your to-do list? Or what was one of the little things you accomplished? Did you clean your apartment to make you feel better? I would especially like to know what the thing is that you did that you love and enjoy that you haven't had time to do lately. Comment that if you were able to find time to do that. And also, comment any other tips that you have for managing your stress, because I'm not perfect. I don't have all the answers, so I'm sure there's always more stuff that I could do to help myself when I'm feeling stressed, to help a girl out. And as always, if you like this content, but you're just dying for higher quality video and audio content, subscribe. That will also help me out.